The West Virginia Mountaineers had a scrimmage today, and several young studs were standing out, man.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, baby, where we're talking about the Mountaineer football team again today. On a scrimmage side of things, they had a scrimmage today, as we all know. Obviously, the staff was tight-lipped about that. Hopefully, the internet doesn't fail me tonight. It's been a rough day today with it, man, but all I can do is try until Monday. I'm going to go to my spot downtown and try to figure out what's going on. But this episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by, where are we at today? Game Time. So right now, Game Time is doing this thing, guys, where you download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Locked On College, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Pretty good deal. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, guys. All right. If you didn't know, now you know. West Virginia scrimmage today, and there were some standouts, specifically Rodney Gallagher Jr., Scotty Fox. Let's get to the tape. What an awesome throw Scotty Fox makes to Rodney Gallagher today. Better turn that off. Who knows what it's from? But, I mean, this is an absolute corker to Rodney Gallagher. As you see Scotty Fox set up in the pocket and just launch one, man. And, I mean, he absolutely launches it. Really good spiral, almost perfect spiral. And then the catch by Rodney Gallagher is a 9 out of 10, if not higher, maybe a 9.5 out of 10. It's a diving outfield play on about the 2-yard line, maybe in the end zone. It's hard to tell. He definitely touches. It's about the 1. Rodney Gallagher, man. What can you say? Maybe he really has turned into that player we needed him to be this year. That would be because what we already have in that room, you want to talk about extra. Oh, man. If Rodney Gallagher turns out to be what he was supposed to always be, I'm telling you right now, our offense is on wide receiver side of things. 1,000% we'll be a passing team next year. I promise. I've thought about this a lot lately. We've got really good wideouts. I don't think people know this yet. I don't think the country knows this yet. We've got wideouts. We're deeper at wideout than we've ever were the last 6 years under Neil Brown, and it ain't close. So, I mean, personally, I'll take Oron Singleton, Jaden Bray, and Cam Vaughn in and of themselves over any 3 guys you can name under Neil Brown. I mean, he was doing it with some I don't want to say no-name guys. That's not the best way. I mean, obviously, Bryce Wheaton was a good player. Sam James was pretty good if he didn't have the drops that day. Obviously, Cole Taylor was a really good player at times, but we just didn't have that number one go-to guy. I don't know if Rodney's going to turn into that or not, but here's where I'm at on Scotty Fox, man. I've been talking about him for weeks now. You guys know I have been. I was on Cynthia Bowers really early before anybody else was. I know I've said that multiple times today and previous days. I just want to keep saying that. Just want to say I was on the Cynthia before it was cool. Scotty Fox was a name I started hearing at least 4 months ago, So you say, I don't know. I don't know how big of a shock it is considering how good he was coming out of high school. But Scotty Fox is a name that you need to be paying attention to. I'm telling you guys. I don't know, where he stands in the hierarchy of things on the depth chart or anything like that, but I do think Scotty Fox is a kid that has a chance to be not just good but great, y'all. I mean that with all my heart. I think he's got a chance to be great. I like too much about him. I love the improvements that he's made over time. We've looked at them before, but they're worth looking at again. If you look at his throwing motion from 2020, when was this, 22 or 23? This is from 2022. He really looks like a baseball he looks like a baseball guy here, in my opinion. And the way his release looks, I mean, it worked for the time and it definitely had some zip on it, but watch how outstretched his arm needs to be. There's no compact swing at all, or no compact motion, right? It's big, wide swing. I mean, as a lot of young quarterbacks are, but I mean, look at that big, wide. You see how far back it goes before he releases it way out and away from his body. I mean, that is a big throwing motion, and a lot can happen there with your shoulder as well when you're throwing it like that. You can tell he played some baseball. Now, the end result was pretty good. Got some zip on it. Not bad for when he was probably 15. Here you see him the same year and a similar kind of throw, right? We've shown this play before of him, but watch his head do this as he's trying to throw it. He's really trying to fit that thing in there. Now, it's a great throw. I want to make sure I say that. It's that same kind of throw, that big over the top swing, big wind up. Look how far back he winds that thing up. See, that wind up right there won't work. Why? DBs will get an extra half second based off your wind up. You want to know Byron Leftwich? Unfortunately, didn't make it in the NFL. He had the biggest windups in the history of the NFL. Go check it out. He would do this. He would pat the ball. Then he would do a C motion, an upside down C motion. So, unfortunately, that's because he had such a strong arm. But that's one of the reasons he didn't work out. Scotty Fox, as you can see there, nice arm, obviously, but still had some work to do on that throwing motion. Here you see him a year later. And look at the difference. Just a totally different throwing motion, guys. Already fixed it this early in his career, about a year later. And look at the compact swing. Watch him, he doesn't take it as far back, obviously. Still pretty big here. But, I mean, you look at that motion, it's dropped down some, right? It was up here. Now it's down here some. Now you're talking about a little closer to 3/4 motion. And just an excellent Patrick Mahomes-esque kind of release going on there, right? Just a beautiful throw. I mean, I'll take that every day of the week. And then you move on through his career, and now you start to see, okay, this kid can kind of grip it and rip it a little bit. I mean, look at that throw. That's an excellent looking little throw. Obviously, it's just in shorts, but look at the release. It's way lower, right? And look how tightened up that release is now. Note this right here. See how his elbow is bent this way, right? Let's go back and look at that first one. See how much different it is? I mean, it's bent this way. Totally different deal, right? So you go back up to here one more time. No, it's totally different. His elbow was bent this way, right? Now it's bent this way. And look at the more compact throwing motion he gets out of this. Great spiral, great leading your guy out of bounds. I mean, I love everything about this throwing motion Scotty Fox has, y'all. It's excellent. And he's kind of kept that. That's what he's got now. I'm a big throwing motion guy. If you can't tell, like, I really pay attention to it. I'm not just pretending to know about it. Like, I really pay attention. Now, if you look at this one today, look at the motion on this one. Just look how compact that thing is, man. Same throwing motion. And look, it's right around 3/4. And look where the fingers are, right? Just exactly like you want it, coming off the 3-4 fingers of, with the thumb stabilizing. Just a gorgeous throwing motion. Um, I can't see everything, so but I mean, you can see like this one heck of a play from him, and that ball travels 35, 40, maybe 45 yards in the air, and it was almost overthrown. I mean, Rodney's a little bit of a shorter cat as well. So no offense to Rodney at all. I'm just saying maybe a bigger guy runs underneath this. Rodney's got to kind of stretch out for it. So yeah, Scotty Fox has come a long way when you look at the journey from his high school days to now, right? Just excellent, excellent training on his part. And I'm telling you guys, Scotty Fox could be the future this year. Don't be surprised if he doesn't get a shot this year if people don't cut it. I'm not saying Nico won't. I'm not saying Jalen won't. I don't even know that Max Brown would win this thing over him or not. Now, Max Brown as a arm talent has the best arm talent on the team. And I said this a few days ago. He does. If you watch Max Brown sling that thing around, it is impressive, man. He can do it from all kinds of. He does that Spencer Rattler routine where he runs out, he'll jump and pirouette and throw the thing in midair and all that stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot about that's good. But Scotty Fox looks like he's really caught up with this arm talent deal, and if that's the case, we know what he is as a runner. We know what he is as a runner, don't we? So, um, we watched plenty of Scotty Fox highlights. If you haven't, on his X page here, huddle.com, you can check his stuff out. If you want to see more on Scotty Fox, definitely dual threat, definitely can run it or throw it. Let's go to break. And what we're going to do now, since the last video kind of cut out, and this one's threatening to, I keep moving between 2-1, 2-1. I'm gonna have to get a hold of my company. But if it goes out, depending on how long it goes out, we may end it again. But at least we've got a segment in without it screwing up in the first one. Let's go to break. I'll answer the questions you guys have there below in a second. And we're going to go ahead and do the defense. I was going to wait till tomorrow, but I'll come up with other stuff to talk about tomorrow as usual. What we're going to do is earlier today, we did a segment on the offense. Guys, I think we should have to look for and start and that kind of thing like that. Projected starters. Some people I think we should watch out for, that kind of stuff that I'm based on conversations, all kinds of different things. That's what we do next. Stick around for it on Locked on West Virginia, baby. And this episode of Locked on West Virginia going to be brought to you by Game Time. Nope, 5 Hour Energy. My apologies. On 5 Hour Energy, guys, it's all about that energy shot, right? And the transfusion you can get with 5 Hour Energy, the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavors of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot for you. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with the boys outside, this is a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, fellas. Some days on the course or off it, you just need an extra boost to stay sharp and energized. Golf is all about good times and good people and good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the Bev cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that's the number 5, the word hour, energy.com, you can use my promo code Locked On Golf for 20% off your first order. This is only valid until September 30th, y'all, and it's definitely not going to be used with other promotions. You can't do it. The code also not going to be good on subscription orders, but come try it out today. No, make that yesterday. It's segment 2. And of course, we're going to skyrocket. And look, if Scotty Fox ends up being as good as we think he can be, you might as well Baja Blast my ass up into the sun, right? As we go Baja Blast style, cracking a dew with old chubby Paul here on the screen. And that's where we're at with it. Somebody asked the question about Utah and BYU. You like that absolute corker, baby. Scotty going to have a great career? I think so, Ear Country. I think so. Sean Fisher, the negativity, come on now. But I mean, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel, brother. Somebody wants to know isn't BYU better than Utah? So that's an interesting question, I think. I think they are, but on paper, people are picking Utah to come back. And look, they've got a top 2 or 3 head coach in the league. I don't disagree with Kyle Whittingham being that. I mean, everybody loves to hate on Utah. I mean, it's just everybody's Big 12's favorite pastime because of how they came into the league and still pretend like they're better than us, right? They would rather be anywhere else but here. And of course they've lost their first 2 years in every sport that matters. So that's another reason as well. If they would have embraced the Big 12, they would be loved. I don't think they realize that. But yeah, from my perspective, BYU is better, but they definitely brought that kid in from UNLV at quarterback that's going to run a good offense for them. I wouldn't be surprised to see Utah back either. Kyle Whittingham can go, man. He can play. Sean Fisher says you win games in the trenches and we don't have the talent, but how do you know? I'm just curious how you know, because I study this every single day. And, of course, I've asked people that, have played other conferences. Well, for instance, we've got a guy on this team that has won a lot of games, right? We've got a couple guys on this team that knows what it looks like. We got a guy on this team that played in the SEC, right? We got guys on this team that have played in other big conferences. And so we got a guy on this team that played for SMU that went to the playoff last year. So, and I asked him, and I don't care to put it out there. I asked Jalen Knighton and I said, hey, what do you think this team honestly like? And he really believes we can be a good football team, knows what it looks like. Now, we didn't talk specifically in the trenches or anything, but I do believe that we're going to be really good in certain spots that a lot of people don't know about. As far as the trenches go, we returned most of our defensive line. We returned several really good players on the D line. Run defense wasn't exactly our problem last year, although it wasn't great. But our problem last year was more coaching than players, in my opinion. Trenches wise, I think we've upgraded there. We've got Corey McIntyre Jr., Nate Gabriel back. Hammond Russell's good. Eddie V is good. Eddie Kelly Jr. played in the SEC at Missouri. He's good. And then, oh, by the way, you've got Jamori Robinson, who was the defensive player of the year in the conference in the entire conference of the American, which is just a step below the Big 12 or ACC, right? So I don't think for a second on defense we have issues. And then if you look on the offensive side of it, I went over it earlier. I think we've got 7 guys that are – Jack Bicknell, who's had 40 years of coaching experience, came on yesterday during his press conference and said out loud, I believe we can be really good. And he wouldn't just say that. So Jamori Robinson he can't. Yeah, he practiced during the spring. Trust me. Guys were telling me about it. They were saying he was making guys look silly. But anyways, let's get to some of those defensive starters as we were just talking. Who do I think can be what? I think that's an interesting question. We're going to go there now. Let's see. What will we pull up here? If I can find it. All right. I think I've got them all separated correctly. So, all right. Defensive line. You've got Eddie Kelly, Wilnerson Telemack, Carter Zuliani, Taylor Brown, Corey McIntyre, Nate Gabriel, Sonny Redwood, Elijah Simmons, Hammond Russell, and Brandon Caesar. Guys, every single one of these guys are good enough to play. Maybe outside of Wilnerson Telemack, Brandon Caesar, and maybe Taylor Brown, I guess, if you're going to consider freshman. You guys already know Taylor Brown is one of the most explosive, talented freshman defensive tackles, linemen that we've had coming in a while. The kid's going to be really good, I think. We'll see, obviously, that we have to wait and see on that. But if you're talking about straight up D-line, Eddie Kelly Jr. is a Power 5 level rotation guy / starter, very much like Sean Martin, in my opinion. Carter Zuliani, definitely not ready yet. Wilnerson Telemack, probably not ready yet. Taylor Brown, I think will get play in rotation. Corey McIntyre Jr. would have started the last 2 years, but he got injured. And that's over anybody you want to name. He was that good in camp. Unfortunately, he's been injured, so he's a big wild card. But if he turns into what he was supposed to be the last 2 years, we've got something not just good, but great there. Nate Gabriel has lost the most weight of anybody on the team. He changed his body as much as anybody on the entire team. He's 6'3", 285. Last year, he was 6'3", 310. And he's really turned into a really solid defensive lineman as a sophomore. Last year, he flashed big as a freshman, played a bunch of games as a freshman, and held his own a lot in very risky situations. Sonny Redwood's been here for years, right? We know that. I don't believe he's 240. I think that's probably a typo. You've got 6'4", 290-pound Elijah Simmons, who, I mean, I can show you guys the tape. He is extremely impressive as a defensive lineman, extremely impressive out of junior college. Hammond Russell is the starter. You know, he's probably the mainstay that's back. He's also not 245. So I don't know how these got messed up, but don't worry about the weights. So that's that, right? Every single one of those guys besides 3. So we go 1. Let's see, 1. I won't even count him or him. No, I got to count him. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would say 7 or 8 deep on the defensive line, and that's not counting defensive ends. That's just in the middle. That means they can rotate at least 2 rotations of 3 guys out. That's pretty good. You'll definitely take that. Everybody's got a backup. Some guys have 2 backups. On the edge, you've got Jamori Robinson. Obviously, if he doesn't play, that hits us pretty hard. I won't lie about that. But even without him, you've got Braden Siders, who is probably one of the most hard-edge guys on the team. Marshawn Oxley, which can, you know, in my opinion, he's about a notch and a half or 2 below Jamori Robinson as a pass rusher, but he's still really good, capable of getting us 5 or 6 sacks this year. Keenan Eck's still growing at 6'5", 235 as far as a pass rusher. He's kind of a one-trick pony. He rushes straight to the outside. And I love Keenan. I'm just being honest here. I do think he can contribute, but he's nowhere quite ready, in my opinion, yet, although I haven't been watching practice. Devin Grant is a very good pass rusher. We've got tape of him absolutely destroying cats at Colorado when he was there, right? We watched it together. Eddie V, we know what he's all about. He should be in the defensive line room. This is all jacked up. Sorry, guys. I should be looking. I might as well just look at the I'll just look at this page here. So let me go back to, let's see. I don't know how this all happened. I just put them in like this, and it just, for whatever reason, it didn't do it right. It's kind of frustrating, isn't it? All right, so let's move back to, let's see. There's edge, there's defensive line. I think this is more right. Eddie Vesterinen in this room now. I don't see him in there. This is what I mean when you try to use AI last minute, guys. This is exactly why. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out of this. I'm going to go over to let's go over here to Google WVU football roster. We'll just look up and down the roster like we did earlier. It's a little more frustrating, but I was trying to get this because when it works, it's great. But sometimes, man, it don't always work, you know. That's why I tell people all the time, like, I use AI in some form every day, although I don't have it. I don't have it answer really questions for me or anything, but I have it do certain tasks for me like that. Like, I was trying to get it to take this and put everything in their own positions, right? So that way I don't have to search for everybody. And for the most part, it does a good job, but it like leaves 1 or 2 people out here and there. But I can change this to position and hit go, and it does a pretty good job. It's just not as easy to move around. So let's look at the bandit spot. Braden Siders obviously is a guy that I think has immense talent. We talked about him earlier at Wyoming. The question is, can he pass rush well enough to make an impact? I know he's good at setting the edge and playing in defense against the run, but as a pass rusher, there are questions. that some of us don't know the answer to about him. I think he can definitely do some things, but I don't know if he's not Marshawn Oxley, in my opinion, as a pass rusher. Curtis Jones is the ultimate wild card on this group. We'll have to see on him. But, I mean, as far as starters go, you've got to give it to Braden Siders for now. Oxley will be right there behind him. So those are kind of your bandits, in my opinion, or your edge guys. Devontae Golden Nelson, Michael Coach Jr., Jordan Scruggs, Tyrance Crutcher, Nick Taylor, Keyshawn Robinson, Jason Chambers, Carmeris Bomar, Dwayne Galloway Jr., Jaden Bell. These are your corners. I think you go 3 deep here with what I consider to be good players, and then it kind of gets – then I start to wonder after that. Obviously, Michael Coach Jr., Jordan Scruggs, and Devontae Golden Nelson. All three, I think, are very good players, especially these two. And I think Nelson's not far behind. Actually, I've got a guy that does those BIP lists who played in the NFL and played in college. I don't mind to show you the message he sent me. Hold on, let me see. So, let's see. We got something from Brandon Livingston. It just got posted 7 minutes ago. We're going to watch that too. Landon Livingston. Actually, let's hit the Audible. Let's go there now really quick. Landon Livingston's got a message for us, apparently.
It was great to be out here with all the boys and get better. It's obviously great to be back in the stadium.
Nico, touchdown.
Here on August 30th. See you guys soon.
So let's rewind this and see what we can see on here on this play.
It was great to be out here with all the boys.
Okay. That's Carson Lee right there, baby. What do you know about that? That's Carson Lee right there at center, boy. What do you know about that? Right guard. Let's get the offensive line thing pulled up here so I can just have something to look at. It doesn't mean anything. It's hard to tell, man. It really is, but I'm going to say because they're cross-training, it's going to be darn impossible to see who these guys are. It just is. I'm pretty sure that's right here. I'm pretty sure this is let me look at numbers really quick. Who ends in a 5? It could be Malik Agbo. Yeah, it looks like it's Malik Agbo, or his Crawford is 74. So that's Malik Agbo right here on the right side, looks like, right on that play. Just guessing, but I'm going to make an assumption. And then you got Nico here making – is that Ashton Woods miss? Yep, that's Ashton Woods trying to make the tackle, pretty sure. Let's look and see. Let's see. Where are we at? Linebackers, number 33. Yeah, it's Ashton Woods. So Ashton Woods misses a tackle on Nico. And Nico jumps into the end zone there at the last second with number 12, John Lewis, jumping on top of him. So, and then you got 67 and 56 right here on that play. So, see, they're trying to trick us, man. You guys see this? You see how they did us? Sneaky editing. Tell me they ain't trying to trick us, guys. Look, they show Livingston, but then they show this play, and it's Carson Lee, right? And Malik Agbo. And then on this play, it looks like it goes to with Rich Rod in the background with his hat backwards and Pat White behind him. Then it goes to Nico, like they snapped it to him here, right? And he scores, and then you see Livingston's back in the frame again, along with 5'6". That should be – is that Chemo? Let me make sure. Trying to get used to the numbers on these guys, man. And this is like prime time steak for me to even be able to see this stuff. I'll pick apart one. They'll learn. I'll pick apart one frame they put up there for days. Yeah, that's Chemo. So there's your two big hogs right there. Your center and your right guard, Chemo Macaniole and Landon Livingston, two of the guys I told you earlier. I believe they were going to start, right? I believe these are your two guys right here so I think it's going to be Livingston at center. I think it's going to be Kimo Makaniole at right guard. I think at right tackle, it's going to be Tykees Crawford. At left guard, it's where it gets tricky. It's probably going to be Walter Youngbear, but it could be Carson Lee, honestly. We'll have to see. And then at left tackle, that's a fun one. It could be a multitude of guys. Nick Cray, Xavier Bosley, to name a few names. It could also be Ogbo. So we'll have to see. It's going to be one of those three guys, I believe, on the left side. Also could be Michael Clay, but I doubt it. I don't think he's quite ready yet. But I like I said, guys, I think our O-line's better than people realize. I think Livingston's going to take a big step this year. He's been behind really good centers, hasn't he? Even Brandon last year Yates was a good center last year compared to most. I mean, Brandon Yates started as a true freshman at left tackle. That offensive line was jacked up that first year under Neil Brown. Anyways, so that's pretty cool. We kind of got off track there, but that was kind of cool just to watch them little clips, wasn't it? Wait, we got a last little frame here to see. Hold on.
Be out here on August 30th. See you guys soon.
No.
Stadium.
There. Okay. Yeah, that's Tykees Crawford. There's the 4. There's Landon Livingston. There's Nico. Who's this other guy? That's a 2. Who's the 2? Let's see. Who's got the 2 on the end of their number? So it's Nick Cray. It's Nick Cray, guys. So that's your starting lineup, I think, right now. I'm just taking a guess, but I think it's Nick Cray. I think it's probably Walter Youngbear. I think it's Landon Livingston. I think it's Kimo Makaniole. And I think it's Tykees Crawford. I think that's your 5. No doubt. Just something to keep in mind. We're just putting it together based off clips. You can't really buy in 100%, obviously. But we've seen these 5 a lot, different points, different clips that I've dissected. These 5 guys and a couple other guys rotated in have played with Nico for the most part all the time. Like I think that they've got it narrowed down a lot quicker than people think. Like some people think they're still putting everything together. I don't think they are on the O-line or quarterback. I think it's probably Nico, and I think it's these 5. We'll see. I'm excited to see what it is. I think that's a good group. Nick Cray's got a lot of upside. A lot of upside for sure. He's super athletic. You guys saw the one-headed catch he made the other day. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll keep the light on for you. Man, I would like to see my guy Carson Lee get some big reps, though, man. I really would. But at the end of the day, I think we just have to be happy that we're in the situation we're in. Rich Rod's back and everything. So I kind of lost my train of thought where I was going. So we're 33 minutes in, and I can't stay much longer, anyways. So I think the best thing to do is just go ahead and end it for today. We'll finish this up tomorrow. There's no reason. I think this has been a problem I've been having, trying to get everything in all in one episode when we could just do more tomorrow, right? That's what my boss was telling me the other day. Like, don't try to pack it all into one episode, just because the longer you go, the less time people stick around and watch. It's just what the numbers say. Like anything over 30 minutes, you're already kind of going up against the clock. So we might as well go ahead and cut this one short and come back in the morning. We'll have more to talk about. We'll just finish this depth chart up on the defensive side. We still got corners to talk about. We still got nickel safeties. We still got safeties. I think that's it. Linebackers. We didn't talk about linebackers, although that's pretty, in my opinion, pretty obvious. Although I haven't heard about anybody outside of Reed and the other dude from Colorado State. His name just slipped my mind all of a sudden. That happens a lot. There's so many different guys to remember, right? Chase Wilson. So anyways, like the video before you go out, guys. I appreciate you guys for showing up. Listen, if you're one of the 300 people watching this show right now, just know this. You're absolutely positively sick in the head, just like I am, when it comes to being a Mountaineer fan. And there ain't nothing to be ashamed of, man. We are the same. We are the same. Nobody's as sick as we are. No fan base is as sick as we are, in a good way. I really believe that. I think there are very few that carry the pride of being a West Virginian as much as we do in their own state, right? So, hope you enjoyed the episode. I'll see you guys tomorrow, absolutely. And have a great rest of your night. This episode of Locked On West Virginia is brought to you by none other than, of course, Locked On Portal. Make sure you check them out, guys. Locked On Portal does a great job over there. Can't do no better. And we'll talk to you on the next one. I'm out of here.